Hello everybody and welcome back to Juno New Origins, where we are incredibly close to getting this barge landing complete. We were within like tens of meters last episode. I think we've got a technique figured out here. So it's just a matter of nailing the parachute opening at this point, right? So that's fine. We're going to go to 75 degrees and we'll pitch this over to about 70. That'll be okay. And let's just accelerate through this booster portion here. And we'll just get on out of here. So we need to raise up our apoapsis quite a lot. I do want to possibly pin open this parachute. For the moment, I'm just going to sit here like this. We're going to start pitching down here. I want to go down to about 20-degree pitch at this point. Okay, let's ditch those side boosters. Excellent. And we still do need some altitude here. Fuel tank is taking heat damage, but I think that's probably what we were working on previously. Okay, let's bring this down to a 0-degree pitch, and let's see. We are not quite where we want to be yet, so let's just push that guy right on over, about like that. Excellent. So now I want to be flipping us to retrograde for a potential re-entry burn. So that is noted. We've got 38% fuel left, and we can just give this a go. So we'll flip this around to retrograde for right now. It naturally wants to go back to prograde as we are heading in, which is not a bad thing at all. I want to point that out. But we're just going to sit retrograde here, and hopefully these fins will be able to hold us here until such a time as we choose to go back to prograde. That's the idea, anyway. So I'm noticing our angle here is pretty good. We're right on track there. And we're going to start going down right about now. We just hit the apoapsis. So that sounds good. At this point, of course, we're just cruising on over towards that drone ship. And so far, it all looks okay. I'm going to keep this fuel around for the moment because I want to do a re-entry burn here as we head over. And I also want to see exactly how this is going to look if we don't do a re-entry burn, but we burn from this direction and then jettison that at a particular point. But we'll see what that feels like. For now, you can see that we are building up additional speed right now. And that is absolutely understood. So for the time being, this is looking relatively okay. We're probably going to want to do our re-entry burn about now. And I'm keeping an eye on this location. Okay. So that's all of that fuel burned out. Let's get rid of it. There we go. And just fling that on out of there. And then we'll just position ourselves back at retrograde here. You can see we are currently speeding up, and that is absolutely understood. I do want to continue to burn here, because otherwise we are definitely going to overshoot, and we are entering a spin, which we've seen in the past. I don't love it. Okay. So we're trying to slow this down a bit here. The spin will get under control eventually. And I want to just angle us out over here. We are struggling right now. We are on the struggle bus, and it's because of this spin. Okay. So, let's just move ourselves up here. I want to be going up at this point. So there we go. We're now going upwards, and we need to, if I can get the angle on this, we need to set our pitch over this way, and we need to be going over here. Okay. Something kind of like that. I'm going to get the chute out right now. Okay. Now, the question is one of directionality, right? So I need to pin the chute over here. We need to be out over this direction, and I'm going to burn us this way with the chute still active. Okay, so that pulls us back as we do that. That is absolutely noted. You can see there that the chute definitely does that. I want this chute to be pinned open. Okay, I'm going to repack this. And I want us to be going about here. Okay. Shoot back out. Okay, where does that put us? We need to go a little further. Okay. Activate the chute. The chute refused to activate. Okay, well, we were so close there. I have no idea why the chute wasn't activating that time. Maybe I hit the repack button for sure, but that was incredibly, incredibly close. So let's try that. No, I don't want to save it. I want to retry. Let's try that one more time. We are really, really close on this one. So that looks good. That re-entry burn was solid. I really liked that. So we'll put this at a 70-degree pitch and 75-degree heading, and off we go. Okay. So we're going to try that again. That was incredibly close. I don't know why the chute didn't deploy there. Like, why it didn't even try to deploy. That was interesting. I don't really have an answer for that, but if I had known that that was going to happen, then I would have tried to do a propulsive landing. And I think we could have. Okay. We have way more altitude than we need right now. Ooh, that was exciting. Yeah, we have a lot of altitude right now. So this is fine. I just want to get a bunch of horizontal speed going here. Okay. Something kind of like that. And we're going to do our re-entry as before. So this is going to be basically the same thing. I just need to execute it properly, right? That's the idea here. We know how we're going to be doing this. We just need to do it correctly. That's it. That's all it is. So at this point, let's just increase our speed a bit as we come on over. And it felt pretty decent starting to burn when we were about 100 kilometers away from the drone chute, or the drone ship or so. Decent-ish, anyway. We're pretty high up right now. This is a lot higher than our previous run. So that's noted. Okay, I'm just looking at our current setup here. Let's go ahead and commence this braking burn. And let's burn off all of that fuel. There we go. Something approximately like that. And let's get a little distance here. Cool. We're going to need to change our steering to be about like that. Okay. And so far, so good. We're going to need to change our steering a little bit more to be about like that. We're definitely drifting off over this way a little bit. That's fine. I don't mind that. So you can see we have a lot of surface velocity right now. I'm going to probably commence a burn here. We're going to lose attitude otherwise. So we're going to lock retrograde, and we're going to enter this spin as we slow down here. Okay. I deployed our chute. We'll see what that ends up looking like. Okay, there's the chute. So hopefully we'll get this spin under control. And what we need to do now, of course, is be headed out over here and be burning somewhere like this. We need to pin the parachute open, and we need to burn this. Okay. So something kind of like that. Now, we're heading back to retrograde for some reason. I don't really have an explanation for why we went back to retrograde there. We shouldn't have. This is acting inconsistently now. Okay. That's interesting. Why did we go back to retrograde? It shouldn't have popped us back to retrograde there. No, it popped us back to prograde. No, that is correct. Okay. Yeah, so the issue there is mostly just an execution one, again, as usual. So these are all execution issues. I want to pin this parachute open a little bit earlier here. And we just got to keep running these attempts until we actually get in there. So the spin makes things very complicated, right? And that's been the case this entire time. We've had major attitude control issues the entire run on this mission. So, I mean, I'm not hugely surprised about that. but let's just push through here. Ditch those side tanks. There we go. And we're just going to push this up to, let's go down to a 0 degree pitch. And we're just going to take this up to 78.1. And how are we doing on our distance? Distance looks good. So now we're going to try to make our way around to retrograde. At this altitude, I would not expect that we're able to do that. The parachute is taking heat damage, but I don't think... Are we just too... Temperature's dropping. I think we're okay. We're just too aggressive on the horizontal speed right now. That's understandable. We're going to be able to turn here very shortly as the atmosphere thins. And it looks okay. I don't think we have a significant issue there. Come on, make your way to retrograde. There we go. Perfect. So we managed to make our way around to approximately retrograde. That looks good, and as far as our heading goes, we're going to need to change our heading ever so slightly to be around here. Okay. And we're still working on getting settled in here, but this looks reasonably fine. We're going to commence a braking burn shortly. As before, I want to wait until we are approximately 100 kilometers from this drone ship before we start our braking burn. Okay, so we're definitely coming out this way a little bit, and I'm going to commence the braking burn right about now. There we go, and we burn out all of this fuel. There we go. And at this point, I want to be in velocity retrograde, and I want to be continuing to slow us down. So we're just going to need to angle ourselves out over here a bit. Yeah, we're going to overshoot this, it seems. That's probably okay. So we're entering our spin, and once this happens, we lose all attitude control until the spin is gone. So we just kind of can't do anything. What we can do, though, is we can activate our chute. And we should probably give ourselves a little bit more chute space, to be honest. Okay. So there's the chute out at this point. That's all well and good. We need to head out this way, right? So about 20 degree pitch and heading out this direction for the moment. We're dragging the chute along with us right now, and I'm okay with that. However, we lose attitude and get pulled over by the chute, which is not surprising at all. So I'm going to repack the chute, and we're going to attempt to pull ourselves over here and head over the drone ship. That attitude control is a major issue, though. Continually. Okay, I want a little more speed here. And changing our attitude a little bit. A little bit more. Okay. So far, so good. A little bit more speed. And shoot out. Okay, I think we're overshooting it a little bit this way, but let's see what this ends up looking like. So I want to be locking basically anti-target, right? So I want to be trying to steer us out over this way a little bit, I think. Yes, I want to be steering us this way. Okay. So the question is, can we get enough steerage out there, or should we try to burn out this way a little bit? And I think burning out this way does make a fair amount of sense. So let's just get ourselves a little bit of speed heading this way. I'm not cutting the chute here. I'm just letting us fall a bit. Okay. Once again. Just a little bit of speed here and there. Okay. Again. One more time. Once more. Extending the landing legs. I think we might be good here. I'm getting us a little bit of an impulse over. Another one. I think we're good. I do not believe that we require anything else. Beautiful. Okay, we tipped over, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. We did it. We visited the landmark. Apparently we didn't actually... We're 1.16 meters off? You have got to be kidding me. Okay, let's retract our landing legs and see if we can, like, do something about this. We are literally 1.16 meters off. Okay, let's cut the chute. Let's retract our landing legs. And let's see if we can change our yaw to go out over here. This engine is, I think, deactivated. The engine is just not functioning. Okay, let's deactivate it and reactivate it. Why is the engine not working? Okay. There must be a way to do this. We're 1.24 meters away now. So why is this not actually working at this moment? There must be a way to get us there. We can go that way, I suppose. And now we're just kind of stuck here. Okay. We can't change our pitch. We can't change our heading. This really should count. Well, we're on 2x speed right now. Let's turn that off, and there must be a way to do this. There must be a way to turn this engine back on at this point. That's what we need. It's refusing to activate, and I'm wondering why. We can repack this nose cone. Is this gyro is functioning. We can see that it's consuming power. So that's noted. If we reactivate these landing legs, then that changes our center of mass out over this way. The main problem, of course, is that we can't activate our engine. Our engine is refusing to fire. Despite it being activated, we can select the command pod controlling this part, and currently, I'm not sure why the engine does not fire. It feels like it should. It also feels like we should be able to tip this back this way. Oh, we have 0 fuel left. Okay, well that explains why we can't fire the engine. Sure, but we still should be able to tip this way with the gyroscope, I should think. Or be able to very slowly roll this. Or spin it in some way. Regardless, this should have counted. We were 1.12 meters away at one point, and we're on the barge. This should count, but it seems that it doesn't. So that's definitely noted. I would like to pitch us upwards here. I think that this gyroscope just isn't powerful enough for that. I'm pretty sure that that's what we've got going on here. If we could just turn it this way, we would be within. The command pod is what needs to be within, I think. So if we could just lock target and get it to turn, that would be great. But it's just sitting there. So, what else can we do? I don't know. I'm kind of out of ideas. I feel like we're completely stuck here. Let's try saving the flight and then resuming it and seeing if we can move it. Yeah, I didn't think that that would work. So that is definitely noted. This is consuming a lot more power in the roll than it is in the pitch and yaw. That's noted. Okay, so that is all fine. What else can we do? What else can we do? I think the only thing that we can do is if we retry, it's going to reload on the barge at this point, right? Because I saved the flight. Yeah. So the only thing that we can do is actually recover the craft. And we have to try it again. We were 1 meter away. We tipped the wrong direction when we landed. That is all that that was. Well, at the very least, that is proof that this will work. So let's put this at 75 degrees and 70 degrees, and let's try this again. That should have worked. There's no doubt about it. Although it is dark at this moment, and we may want to consider waiting until morning. Actually, as I consider this, just because of timing. Or just because of brightness, right? So let's just give it until morning here. That's very trippy looking, but yeah. Let's just wait till sunrise. Okay, there we go. So now we can launch this thing on 70 degrees and 75 degrees. And off we go. Now that we can actually see what we're doing. Okay, cool. So, I mean, that's proof that this is viable. That is absolute, complete, and total proof. And we didn't even cut the parachute, so that's noted. I'm gonna wait till we're about 40 kilometers, and then I'm gonna drop this to 30 degrees. Now I'm gonna drop it to about 20. Ditch those... Ooh, that side booster got attached. That was odd. Okay, well, we are at a high enough altitude at this point. Do we have enough speed? We have more than enough speed. Okay. So that looks good. We are, at this point, going to flip this around to retrograde. We can see that our parachute picked up a fair amount of heat shield. Or actually, the heat shield got consumed some, I think. Yeah, that should be fine. So we're just going to get ourselves positioned around here, which we'll be able to do as we exit the atmosphere. We've got 32% fuel left, which is approximately correct. We're going a little higher this time, so we should wait until we're like 120 kilometers or so before we burn off this speed. Okay, so that seems reasonably fine. Let's just bring this on over, and I'm going to increase our speed a bit here. Okay, dropping it back down a bit. Okay, I'm going to burn off this speed now, because we have a bit extra built up. And I don't want to overshoot this too much. So that all seems decent. Okay. So downward we go. We need to burn off some additional speed here, which seems absolutely fine. I do want to have this be about here. We need to continue to get rid of horizontal speed. We have too much horizontal speed still. That is very clear. Okay. I just want to put us about here or so. We can see the drone ship there. How are we doing on the speed? Looks much better. I'm going to cut these engines for right now. I want to point us basically anti-target right now. So lock anti-target. Okay, something kind of like that. Seems reasonable. We are accelerating at this time. I'm okay with that for right now. We're going to need a little bit more. Well, we're going to need to change our velocity a little bit. We're coming down over here right now. We're going to start entering a spin pretty soon. I'm going to do a re-entry burn to help us hold attitude here and slow down. So there's not much we can do about this spin, unfortunately. And I want to bring us around over this way. But the spin has taken control, and there's very little that we can actually do at this point, other than just wait for the spin to end. So let's just go ahead and execute this, and we're just going to fall for a bit here. Okay. So we're falling for the moment, and we're wanting to get this chute out. No doubt about that. But we need to get the spin under control. The spin is nuts. And there's very little that we can actually do about it. This thing really, really wants to spin. But we get the chute out, and that will get us under control, in theory. But we need to be heading over this direction, right? So let's try to head over there. There we go. Now we're heading over in this direction. However, we need to set our directionality to be out over here. Okay. I'm going to repack this chute for right now. And we're just going to continue to fly on out over this direction for the moment. Please lock to target if you can. That would be nice. Target plus like 20 degrees or so. Okay. We're having a very hard time holding this attitude. Very, very, very hard time. Let's just pull this out over this way a little bit. There we go. And we're just trying to position ourselves at about a 10-degree pitch and just trying to hold about here. We need a little bit more horizontal speed, which we'll do. And we're flipping around to retrograde right now. That's noted. We're going to need to come out this way a bit. For sure. We're at 10% remaining fuel right now. Okay. Lock to target if we can, or actually anti-target would be better. Okay, we're going to try to bring this around to anti-target, but it's kind of anti-anti-target that we need to be at. So we need to be like out over here, right? And we need a little bit more speed out this way. But we're not quite at the attitude I want us to be at. Okay. A little more. Shoot out. Okay. Now, we're going to need to be basically at the horizon here. And we're going to need a little bit of speed this way. Now, the chute is going to arrest the vast majority of that speed. And that's understood. So, as you can see right now, we're going to come down a little bit short. So, I'm going to repack this chute. I'm going to burn us out a little bit. And then I'm going to get that chute out a bit more. Okay, so now we're coming in on like the very edge of this over here. So we're going to need to come out over this way. And try to burn ourselves out here. Okay, Are we coming down actually in this circle now? That is a definite maybe. One more push. Okay. Now we're bringing this to a pitch of 90. There we go. Okay. We landed in the circle. We did not tip over. And we completed it. That was a lot. But we got the technique in the end. And we got there. So we're going to recover this craft. And that is fantastic. We finally finished this contract. As I said, that was going to be a process. We got there in the end, though. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to do a different contract. I don't know what contract we're going to do, but it will be different. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy Magar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Hiro Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.